Okay, I think we should be going live. I think so. Here we go. Here we go. Let me see. Can I hear me? Let me double check the volume on this, just make sure it's coming through. And yes, it is. So we're ready to go. Now today we're going to tour. This is an older build of mine. This was for a challenge on the Sims forums to create the new Newcrest. So it's kind of an urban renewal type of build where we were going to reimagine a sort of central business district for Newcrest on a 64 by 64 lot. Now, this is really pretty old. This is from before dining, right? From before dining out, before that pack even. We had get to work, we had get together. I don't know that we had a whole lot else. So, some stuff packs maybe. So this is the new Newcrest. It is my take on urban renewal, and I really based it in some ways on the urban renewal plans of my own major city nearby, Oklahoma City, where the urban renewal scheme was to come in and kind of knock everything down, basically, right? Knock down all of the old stuff, put up all brand new stuff, new shopping centers, new apartment buildings or housing options, new transit centers, right? Now, in Newcrest, they did manage to save these two buildings over here, which we'll look at. But to start with this particular build, let's get down here to the street level. We'll take a look at it. You can see it's got kind of a typical gentrified appearance. Some greenery's been added. You've got like this outdoor dining, which is a fake restaurant because we did not have dine out yet. You've got shopping and then some rehab stuff over here. A rehab movie theater, kind of an antique store, museum. We'll tour all that. Now, the first thing I want to look at is in this particular city, because it's Newcrest, and I kind of imagine Newcrest near a larger city, they do have an underground transit option. So when I built it, I tried to build something kind of like a train, right? So we've got, there's the engine, and then we've got, these sort of train cars. Or subway cars. Ooh, that one's missing a little bit of paint. Actually, let me see here. I didn't realize it was missing some paint. We're going to put some paint on it. Well, maybe it won't paint. Is that the problem? Blocks on adjacent levels must touch. Well, it's not having it. Maybe that's why it's not painted. I don't know. Maybe there's a glitch. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is that it's supposed to have this idea of a subway car where people can go from Newcrest to the larger city as a whole. And when you come up from the subway platform, you're kind of in a larger sort of train station area. Now, my own city does not have anything like mass transit, except for kind of a pathetic bus, which really doesn't do much. In this city, they've got this sort of transit center, right? Right. But like my city, like Oklahoma City, there are a system of tunnels connecting different parts of downtown. So in Oklahoma City, they have it's about 20 square blocks of buildings are connected by these underground tunnels that are color-coded, as these tunnels here are, to better keep you from getting lost, right? And that way, when you have bad weather, which we have a lot in Oklahoma City, because it's either boiling hot or freezing cold, or like the other day, I'm still suffering a little bit from allergies. We had 1,000-mile-per-hour wind, which kicks up all the dust. So you can go down underground, use the tunnels to get around to kind of escape the weather. And that is what I tried to replicate here to some extent. Now, once you get up to street level, the buildings that are connected are going to be this museum, this shopping center, this apartment building, and then the parking garage. Again, this is based on my city. There's a big parking garage right in the middle of it, right? Basically, it takes up, an entire block here. The parking garage does. Some areas on these builds, even though this is an old build, I had this sort of anticipation, that we would eventually get elevators that we could place. So some areas like this here, this was a placeholder for an elevator, for a future elevator. That we have a parking garage in downtown Oklahoma City that has an elevator with glass windows on it. So it's kind of like a glass elevator, and you can kind of see out as you're going up and down. That was kind of to replicate that. What can I say? Let me go ahead and check this real quick. I am trying to watch chat. If you happen to drop in, I know this is a Monday afternoon, but if you happen to drop in and leave something, I'll try to catch it. I'll try to watch it. Forgive me if I miss it at first. Excuse me there. I'm going to go ahead and grab a cough drop real quick. Sometimes that helps. With my allergies, it helps the drainage go down a little bit better. Now, the parking garage here, as you can see, there's plenty of parking, right? Plenty of parking. I put a few cars in. I built these sort of like ramps, out of roof tiles or roofs, so that you had this impression, of going downhill. And then here on the bottom level, I put in a little office in this area, maybe a little security guard's office. As I said, there is a connection. Where is it here? Right here, connection down to the transit center. And over in this area, as you would sometimes find in parking garages in Oklahoma City, there's just kind of a little commercial space. In this case, I have it set up with what I had to work with at the time. It's granted is a little light. I had it set up as kind of a convenience store. Was kind of the idea. You'd come in, you could buy some periodicals, maybe you could buy some souvenirs, something to drink, check out over here at the register, right? Guy's got a TV so he can watch TV during the long, boring days. Nowadays, I would probably go in and put like some vending machines in there, since we've got those now. Now, after that, basically the tunnels connect this parking structure with the apartment building, right? So, and I think here you can see I made the parking on the first level more full, right? Like our real parking garage. And then as you go up, it gets less and less because people typically take the first spaces they come to in this city, just like a regular city. I tried to make it kind of nice too, as you can see, put some greenery on it. That's actually kind of hearkening back to some artistic renderings of what downtown Oklahoma City would look like, kind of via the Pay plan, the I.M. Pay. He's a famous architect. And he was a famous architect back then too. And Oklahoma City hired him to do our urban renewal plan, to develop this urban renewal plan, which some of it actually did come to exist. We knocked a lot of stuff down. The plan called for a lot of demolition, and we did knock a lot of stuff down, so we got that done. But one of the pictures showed a parking garage, as I recall, and they had this sort of greenery, kind of softening it. So I went with it there. Over here, though, we have an apartment building, right? It has a pool, some recreational areas, a bunch of windows to see out of. These top floor apartments have skylights. We didn't have skylights at the time. We did not have glass roofs. So I used the dance floors from Get Together, right, as a skylight. Common thing back in the day. And also kind of common with a lot of apartment buildings. There's some light retail here at the bottom. In this case, we have a coffee shop and we have a sports bar, kind of place to hang out. The coffee shop has some outdoor seating here, a little outdoor cafe. The bottom units, in fact, all these units in this on these corners, right, are studios, kind of like a deluxe studio, since the bedroom's kind of separated out. But there's enough room here. You got a place to sit and hang out, place to eat, a nice little kitchen, full kitchen, full kitchen, even with a dishwasher, fancy. Most of the apartments in my area would come with a dishwasher. And then you've got kind of a basic bath, no tub, but a shower. We didn't have toddlers in, so I never had to worry about placing a tub, because they're the only ones that have to have a tub, toddler. We'll go up here. You can see a different, I furnished like this whole building. Okay, so seriously, like every single apartment was furnished in this building. There's going to be something like 15 units that I furnished here. I furnished everything in this city. Excuse me again. Let me take a quick drink here. Now, some of the apartments on these corners here are larger. We've got, 2-bedroom apartments. I usually did them for a family. In this case, it's for a family with 2 kids. A lot of people, in my area wouldn't want to raise a family in an urban setting like this, but I love it. I love the idea. There's a great park here in Newcrest, in the new Newcrest. There's a great park, and this is a really nice apartment, I think. It's very compact, but you've got, a nice dining area. Again, you've got a full, compact but full kitchen. Great place to hang out for the family. You've got a bathroom here between the bedrooms, right? That is shared by the two bedrooms. I don't know why I went with glass doors here. My only thought is that maybe we just didn't have that much to choose from, and everything else I didn't like. This was probably the most modern door that I had at my disposal, right? And I didn't want to put in an old-fashioned wooden door in this modern building. So I just went with glass. Yeah, why not? Sims don't care. They still see it as a real door. Now, the one thing I don't like about these apartments, and I don't know what I would do to change it in this day and age. I don't know, but it doesn't have a hall bath. It doesn't have a guest bath. And there's not a lot of room here, but to me, that's kind of a failing of the design. It doesn't matter for the Sims because they'll use the bathroom any place, right? But if I were to redesign it, I would try to put in a guest bath. I would probably do it, like right here. I'd probably take out I'd hate to take out the closet too. I don't know. Someday, maybe that'll be another video. Maybe that'll be another live stream where I'll go through and try to actually fit in a half bath to this apartment. And if it occurs to me while we're doing this tour, maybe I'll do it that way. We're going to go up here. Again, we've got the same apartment floor plan with a different decor, including this one, which I would never do this nowadays. This is supposed to be opulent, right? I hate this. I really don't like this apartment. Again, it really speaks to how little stuff we had in the game at the time. It really does speak to that because, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But I definitely could go in and, change it up a little bit. I do, by and large, like these little apartments, these little studios. This really suits me. I live in a fairly good size single family home. It's not my favorite. I don't really love it. I like this, just a great kind of one bedroom place, maybe a two bedroom, maybe another small bedroom. And I'd only use the smaller bedroom for hobbies, really. But as you can see from my office, even behind me, I mean, it's not big. I don't mind. I don't mind smaller spaces. So, I love this kind of studio look, studio feel. And I especially love apartment living because you do have things like in a pool. You have a pool down here, great, beautiful pool. You also have, they take care of everything. The HOA takes care of all the structural issues. It's just easy, carefree living. But anyway, that's my apartment. It's my apartment building. This building actually exists on my gallery as a standalone building on a lot by itself. I use this building in Windenburg. So if you wanted just the apartment building, it does exist as just the apartment building, not as the whole city. But I really like it. I had a great time building this city out, and it's fun to kind of look through it again here. Now, next to the apartment building, we have the shopping mall, right? Because a lot of urban renewal plans back in the 60s and 70s, just like here in Oklahoma City, called for a downtown shopping center, right? Let's compete with the suburbs. Let's win people back from suburban living. Let's get them back here downtown. And what would attract people downtown? Obviously, a shopping mall would get them back downtown. Now, in this case, the mall is relatively small. On the top floor, I have, again, a pretend restaurant. This is before we had Dine Out. This is almost like an ancient build, but it's before we had Dine Out. So I put in kind of a restaurant kitchen back here, right? Then we've got some places to sit around and eat, both indoors, al fresco, indoors and al fresco, indoors and out. And then a little kind of bar, a little kind of lounge here at this end with some sort of outdoor seating for it as well. On the first floor of this shopping mall, we've got a clothing store, an outdoors type of store, sort of camping store. Again, I'm working with what we've got in the game at this point. This is going to be, I don't know, 2015, 2016, right? So I'm working with what I've got to work with. I put in a pretend bakery, a kind of kids science store, the closest thing I could go to kind of a toy store, camping, and then clothing. Because since I had Get to Work, I could put in like a retail clothing type store with the mannequins. That's where we got that. Next to it, we have a park, of course. And because like I said, I like raising a family downtown. I think it's fine to raise families in an urban setting. There is a place here, again, as good as I could make it at the time, for kids to hang out and play. I tried to create what I consider a hopscotch type of little setup here, and a sort of jungle gym, right, for them to play on. And then there's a place for parents to kind of hang out, while the kids play. This sort of like pretend playhouse here. This would be kind of the mall, I guess, entrance, central court area. Again, a lot of downtown malls might have this sort of just a little area with a little indoor garden and a fountain. And if I'd had elevators, we'd have an elevator instead of just stairs, but I didn't. So there you go. Still don't. And then out here, I like to think of this as kind of an urban holdout. This is a little floral shop that they couldn't knock down for whatever reason. Maybe the people wouldn't sell it. And so it's still here. It's an urban holdout, little floral shop, got a taxi cab out front. And I put some flowers in it again because that's what I had to work with the game at the time. So that is our shopping center. I really did like this, and I'll turn it on here at night. Let me change this to nighttime. I thought it was really kind of pretty at night. Again, you've got this sort of urban look of these trees lit up outside with twinkle lights. And the kind of club down here has this sort of pink, sort of neon lighting, kind of light up the club area. And then after that, we come over here to the best I could do with creating a movie theater. Another urban holdout here, both of these things that for whatever reason, maybe people just would not see tore down, right? In Oklahoma City, there was a big fight in my city to save a movie theater downtown that ultimately got turned into an art museum. So, it was nice, but there was a big fight to save it. And next to it, here on the corner, paying homage to that, is an art museum. Now, the movie theater here, I think, turned out okay. I don't love it. These are supposed to represent, the marquees out front that you would put what movies are coming on there. Got some movie posters, though. That worked out well. And we'll go all the way down. I tried to put in something like a concession stand, right? So I put in, there's actually some baked goods in here, right? They're going to spoil in 2 days. So when you download it, you got 2 days to eat those, if you were to download it. I also put in some ice cream machines and some popcorn machines, right? So it's kind of a self-serve concession stand, but it's there. This is the box office, where you'd come to buy your tickets for the movie. There's a better kind of marquee that would kind of show, the times for the movies, when you go up. Couple of restrooms, of course. And then the movie theater itself. Got some chairs lined up and a big screen. The best we could kind of come up with back in the day, back in 2016. Now, in my own area, we have a movie theater that has a balcony area for adults only, where there's like a bar and a restaurant and a whole bunch of stuff for hanging out before the movies. To make a night of it, date night of it. I couldn't really replicate that here, entirely, but I did kind of set it up kind of the way they do, where the seating is done as love seating, and you've got a table where you can put food so you can eat during the movie. And I stuck a bar there so my Sims can mix up a drink. And then I went ahead and put a TV screen here. In reality, my theater, you'd be watching this screen down here. So this would all be open and it'd be one large screen. I have no idea why I didn't do that here. I can't remember. There must have been something at the time, some sort of build limitation that screwed it up where it wouldn't work, right? So I didn't do that because, I could have made this, larger. Like, well, if I turn on move objects on, then, I could make that larger like that. So I'm not real sure. All I can imagine is when I was building it, there was some technical difficulty that wouldn't allow it. Or maybe I just thought it'd be cool to have 2 screens in this theater. I don't know. I do know that on the next floor up, I tried to create sort of an urban apartment, where someone took some leftover space here above this theater and they just stuck in an apartment, It's got kind of a kitchen there. It's kind of a lofty feel, right? Kind of a loft is what I'm going for here. You got kind of a bedroom, bath, kitchen, very open plan, bunch of windows, looking out on the city. And then again, here's the weird thing. It's open to the stairs. And I don't know if I thought that was cool, right? I don't know if I was thinking, oh yeah, that'll be cool. And maybe I did. Maybe I just thought it'd be cool. In this day, right now, what I would probably do is go ahead and take this whole wall out and leave it all open to this. Oh, you know why I didn't? But I didn't because there's an office back here. That's the reason why. I didn't do it because there's an office here in the back. And so I guess that's why I didn't, but I can't imagine why I wouldn't have put a wall there, except again, maybe it screwed something up. I don't know. In this day and age, I'm sure I could fix it. That's what I think. Excuse me there. As I said, my allergies are going haywire. I live in Oklahoma. I should have moved 40 years ago. I would have been a baby, but I should have moved. Nonetheless, right? Right. So that's it. That's the movie theater building. Now, next to it was, again, sort of an old urban holdout, which I think, would have been a house once upon a time. Maybe a rooming house of some sort. Now it's an antique store. Now it's kind of an antique junk store. There's its open sign. It's got some stuff on the front porch. It's got a whole bunch of stuff inside. Upstairs, more junk, right? Here in the backyard, I put a parking space for the people that own it. Again, something you would find kind of in my city. A lot of urban areas, maybe not, but in my city, if you had a house like this, yeah, there'd be a parking space back behind it, right? And a little yard and some stuff to kind of rummage through out in the yard, right? I'm going to go and turn the sun back on. There's not a lot. I mean, it's a junk store filled with all the stuff that I had available at the time to use. And this lot, I had this set up originally, and I think it's still on the gallery as a retail lot, this whole lot. So when you went into it, you could buy everything. Like, I think I had everything tagged. Like, literally, if you can imagine that, I had everything in all these different shops tagged so you could really buy it, right? I don't know if that downloads or not. I mean, I don't see it tagged here, but then I've changed this to a residential lot when I placed it this time. And I wish now I'd left it retail so I could tell, but oh well. It is what it is, right? Go back down here. You can see all the different stuff, like a junk store, like an antique store. And then last but not least, over here we have the art museum, right? So we have an art museum downtown, typical downtown thing you're going to find in an art museum, and easy to make in The Sims. Again, I took all the stuff we had to use, that we had available, kind of tried to put in some works of art of varying forms. There's a little counter over here, right? Little counter. So you can check in, you can check your coat and your packages if you want. We've got a bathroom over here. I think underneath here, yeah. So underneath here, because it connects to in my city, we call it the concourse system, right? The Metro Concourse. Is it Metro Concourse or? Anyway, let's call it the concourse system. There's a storeroom, so if you want to have a wedding or a party in the museum up above, the stuff you need is down there to use, right? So that's down below the museum, second floor, again, looks like this. Got some art. Here's another example of where I really thought we would have elevators soon that we could place ourselves, right? And so I made these placeholders for elevators and then color-coded them because it's an art museum, right? And we never got elevators. We did. We got elevators with City Living, and I could put elevators in there, but they wouldn't work, right? I could place them, but they wouldn't work. They don't work outside of penthouse lots or the dorm lots, with Discover University. They don't work. So I couldn't put I could put an elevator there, but it wouldn't work. And in fact, the way you do an elevator, I will say this real quick. Let me go to my library. The way you do an elevator, and I have this, I think, on my online gallery, I think, because I did a tutorial about this a long time ago. See if I can find it in here. To place an elevator, you build a room around it, and then you place the room. It's got to be in here. Let's see here. Whoops. Not yet. Do. God damn, I got a lot of stuff. There it is. Okay, I'm thinking, man alive, I've got a lot of stuff in my library. Okay, so you take it like this, right? And you just kind of put it into place. I don't know which way is front. Let me see if I can tell. Here we go. Like that. You just kind of put it into place. Like so, right? And then it would work, right? Except it doesn't work on these lots. Now, if you do this on a penthouse lot, you can use it to get from floor to floor to floor in the penthouse. You just have to click the floor above, and if there's no stairs, your Sims will go get in the elevator and go up. So that way I could have elevators on every floor of my penthouse, but here it's just a decorative item. And I'm going to go ahead and take it out. Well, I don't know. Maybe I'll leave it. Maybe I'll leave it for now. It doesn't matter. And then we have the roof. That's it, right? That's the museum. That's the city as well. Go up here. And the interesting thing, I'm not sure that did we have different wall heights? You notice how everything's the same wall height, right? And I don't know if I just wanted it all to be the same wall height, or if we didn't have different wall heights yet. And it may be we didn't have different wall heights yet. Everything had to be the same height, because I think that was patched in later. Huh. I need to look that up, because now I'm curious about it. I'm going to have to look that up at some point. Anyway, that is my city. The new city of Newcrest, the urban Utopia. IGY, by the way, there. And it's 2020. I said IGY 2020. Actually, at the time, that was a few years in the future. IGY references a song called International Geophysical Year by Donald Fagen. And it's a song kind of about this, about a utopian ideal, right? A sort of urban renewal ideal. A sort of, we can knock down all the old stuff, knock down all the stuff that is, out of date and crumbling and decaying, and we'll replace it all with this brand new, glittering sort of downtown that people will love, because people love new, right? And that will revitalize our city centers. It did a little bit in some cases, in some places. Some of what Oklahoma City did for urban renewal came across really well. Some of it we still have in place and we still use. But some of it we regret, because looking back, we knocked down an awful lot of this sort of stuff that we probably, well, I don't know. I mean, I didn't knock it down, but people my age, at least, even people older and stuff, we look at it and we think, wow, that's really too bad. Maybe we knocked down some of our character and some of our charm and some of our soul of our city to replace it with, we never got the downtown mall built, but to replace it with stuff like this, a 1970s mall or something like that. So that is it for now. That is the tour of the new Newcrest. I don't think I won the competition for this. I can't remember if I did or not. I think I got points counted off, because down there, down here in the transit center, the train here that I built, it isn't painted there, right? But like I said, I don't know. I couldn't get it to work a minute ago to paint. There's something wrong with it. There's some sort of blockage that kind of kept me from being able to paint it, and I don't know why, and I don't know what. I might mess around with that later and see if I can get it to work. But for now, I think I got counted off points for that. I don't know. And I think I didn't win. This took a lot of work. I'll tell you that. It took a lot of work back in the day. Every single thing is furnished. Every apartment every retail outlet. I mean, I poured a lot of heart and soul into this particular build. And that's part of why I don't do competitions anymore, because I pour too much into it. And then, like any artist with my art, I get my feelings all worked up. No, actually, a part of why I stopped doing competitions was because of stuff like this, though, because I would do so much that it was easy to find things that were wrong, right? Because the more detail you put in, the more chances that you've made a mistake. Like you forgot to paint a wall, right? Like I might forget to paint that wall and then I would lose points. But then I've got so many walls I'm trying to paint that missing one, it's not that hard to do. And back then there was a glitch. Sometimes if you added, I think this glitch still exists. If you add a wall or delete a wall, it erased the paint. So I might not even realize the paint had erased, right? Stuff like that. Anyway, this was a fun build. I hope that you have enjoyed this tour. I'm going to start doing more tours. I have a big one I'm going to start this weekend, and it's not even stuff that I did, but it is an absolutely incredible save file and build that's coming up this weekend. It's going to be a big surprise. When I do it, I'll put the links to the save file from the person that did the people. It was like a bunch of builders came together and did it. And I had meant to participate in it, kind of got caught up doing school work and stuff, totally missed out. And I regret it because I'm looking at their work and it was fantastic. It's fantastic. So we're going to start touring those this weekend. But for now, with me, this is it. Thank you for watching. I am going to cull this down probably into a smaller video tour that will be up as a video, not just this live stream tour. And please hit like, subscribe, and notify, like always. And thank you for watching.